Have you ever wanted to play Eldlich, but you're just broke and don't have the money? Well, today I got a very controlling Eldlich budget deck profile for you. So join me. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a budget Eldlich zombie deck profile. Now, this is mad budget and it won't even cost you $150. Okay, guys? So, without further ado or me chatting, let's just jump right into the deck profile. 2 Golden Lords. This is standard. You could bump this up to 3, but I think 2 should be enough. We run the 1 Doom King Balladrock. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, boy, but in this particular build, I don't think that you need to run any more than 1 Doom King Balladrock. If you draw into this card, you can basically call it a dead draw without Unizombie, alright? But even if you draw Unizombie and this card, it's still a dead draw because you don't want to be sending Balladrock off Unizombie. That's probably like a waste of time, if you know what I mean. So in my opinion, I think 1 is enough, alright? Now we run the 1 Vampire Florine, alright? Sorry again if I'm butchering these names. Alright, now my reason for running at least 1 Vampire Florine, okay? You can basically call this the zombie honest of the deck, because once you or your opponent declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand, okay? And once it is special summoned, if your opponent decides to battle a zombie monster that you controls, including this card, okay, you can pay 100 life point. You can pay up to 3,000 life points in increments of 100 to boost that zombie monster's attack or defense, okay? So that is battle protection right there, and it does happen during the damage step, okay? And another cool thing to know about this little vampire right here is that if she battles a monster and destroys it by battle, at the end of the battle phase, you can special summon that monster to your side of the field. So that's just more utilities in more ways than 1. I'm thinking of bumping her up to 2, but for now 1 is just fine, all right? Next, we run the best starter of the deck. 3 Unizombie, okay? Now, this should be self-explanatory, alright? A zombie deck without Unizombie, it's not a zombie deck, okay, guys? You need this card to kick off your plays, okay? This allows you to send zombie monsters from your deck and also send them from your hand, and it also increases the level of the monsters that you choose, so you can either increase your opponent's monsters or your monsters, okay, depending on the play that you're looking for. But you need to run 3 Unizombie, self-explanatory. We run 1 Banshee. Now please don't throw any eat at me for this, okay? This deck isn't particularly revolves around zombie world, okay? So I think that 1 Necro World Banshee should be enough to search out your zombie world if you need it, okay? Which most of the time you will need it, but I think running 2 can be a bit cloggy in my testing, okay? And I think 1 is the perfect ratio for now, and I suggest that you guys try it. It's perfect. Then we run 2 Glow Up Blooms, alright? Now, you might be asking why I run 2 Glow Up Blooms and 1 Banshee, alright? But you see, the thing is, this ratio is better than having 2 Banshee and 1 Glow Up Bloom, okay? Because if you ditch Glow Up Bloom from off Unizombie's effect, you are going to be able to search either Eldlich, Vampire Florine, or even Doom King Balladrock if you need to, okay? So this gives you more utility than this, because you only need to activate zombie world once, okay? And if your opponent choose to or even have something to take it off the field, like, you have another one, okay? So I don't think that you need more than 1 Banshee, and in our extra deck, we have cards that can bring back Banshee and Bloom and any other cards that are banished to our graveyard, so we can reutilize their effects. Okay, so yeah, 2 Glow Bloom, it searches your boss monsters. If you have Zombie World on the field, it special summons them. If not, it just adds them to your hand. And if you add Florine, you have battle protection for that turn, guaranteed. Okay, as long as you have the life points to play. Dino Wrestler Prantotops. Now we have the Fossil Dino. Alright, now this guy, you can say we use this guy to lock our opponents out of special summoning more than what we can handle. Okay, we have enough back row to protect our monsters that are on the field, and if we need to, we can also special summon them back. All right, so I can just, knowing that I'm going up against a combo deck, just set this card and set like 5 back row and just end my turn. And when they attack into this, everything that they have will just go boom. All right, or if I can go the other way of just normal summoning this, setting 5 back row and ending my turn. The only thing that a combo deck can do is try to destroy this card, or at least normal summon, attack over it, and go into main phase 2 and then combo off from there. And that's if I don't have anything to protect this card, which more than likely I will. Alright, so another tech that I'm running, this is really spicy. Okay, it is Goddess of Sweet Revenge. Alright, while you control no cards, and this card is the only card in your hand, when your opponent declares an attack, you can discard this card and destroy as many cards as possible as your opponent controls. Then you can special summon 1 monster from your deck. Now, you might think that this is a bad card, okay, but in this particular budget build of Eldlich Zombie control, okay, you will find yourself, or you can literally even make yourself have no cards on the field. Okay, because you might set up and your opponent might break your board. All right, and you might have this in hand. All right, now why I choose to run this over something like Rivalry of Warlords, because Rivalry of Warlords, you have to wait until your opponent declares the attack and you lose the damage. Alright, and normally if they're going up against something like a control deck, you would normally use all of your resources to try to stop whatever your opponent has to do, or normally they will try to destroy all your back row, like with something like Trisbania or anything like Harpy Feather Duster or even a Raigeki. Okay, and having this card in your hand as an untrap for when they declare the attack while you control no cards and have no cards in your hand, but this, it is going to be devastating when it hit, trust me. Alright, so this is my spicy tech card, and that will do it for all of the monsters in our monster lineup. Alright, now for all of the traps, we run 1, 2, 3 Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. Alright, now this is self-explanatory. I don't need to tell you what Scarlet Sanguine does. If you have Eldlich, it special summon a zombie from the deck or the graveyard, or if you don't control Eldlich, it special summons him from the deck or graveyard. Okay, and each end phase you can banish this. If you didn't use the effect, you can banish it and set a golden land spell or trap directly from your deck. And the floating ability of this deck is just amazing. That's why you can use as much of these one-off cards as you want, because you will be flying through all of these spell and traps when you get them. Okay, you won't be saving any of them, trust me. All right, then as I said, we are running budget, so I only run 2 Conquistador of the Golden Land. Everybody know what Conquistador does. It's pretty self-explanatory. Normally people run it at 3, but as I said, this is a budget profile, so we are only running 2. Okay guys, now onto our one-offs, or to round off, or almost round off all of the Eldlich traps. We are running 1 Haquero of the Golden Land. This is budget again. I will bump this guy up to 2, but for now we're just running him at him at 1, and I think I'm going to add at least one more conquistador and one more Haquero, just for that floating ability, so that I don't run out of cards to float into while I'm using their effects from the graveyard. All right. And we also run one Guardian of the Golden Land, strictly because he can zero your opponent's monster and he has a 2500 but some of the times this is all you need to just stay in the game. Alright, so you should run this at 1, especially if you run something like the Mad Golden Lord. Okay, you can use this and Eldlich to fuse it off to create the Mad one. Okay, so I recommend at least running one of these guys. Alright, now for our generic traps and stuff, we run 2 Solemn Judgment. I don't think you need to run any more than 2 of this guy in your main deck. Okay, this should be enough to stop anything your opponent activates, anything or doing any kind of freaky play. You just say no to that. Okay, then we run 1, 2 Crackdowns. This is a trap control deck, so we want to stay in control of as much of the field as possible, and Crackdown does that, especially if your opponent controls or special summons, normal summons a monster that has a continuous effect that affects the board as long as it's on the field. You just activate this, take control of it, their effects are negated, and in your next turn you can probably link off or synchro summon or exceed whatever. Okay, Crackdown is just an amazing card, and I think people should run more of it. Alright, then this might be controversial, but we run 2 There Can Be Only One. Alright, now I choose to run There Can Be Only One over something such as Rivalry of Warlords, because there's not going to be a situation always where you're going to have Zombie World on the field and Rivalry of Warlords. There are going to be situations where you're going to have access to Rivalry of the Warlords or Zombie World. Okay, and in my opinion, the way how this deck works, like most of the times you're just going to have like 1 or 2 monsters on the field. So using There Can Only Be One and Zombie World on the field, it cuts your opponent field presence. Okay, because there are decks that can work around Zombie World and Rivalry of Warlords, but okay, you have even more decks that cannot work around There Can Be Only One and the Zombie World. Okay, and with the power of Eldlich, with Eldlich in our deck, if we want to turn this card off, we can turn it off very easily and get more advantage while doing so. Alright, so There Can Only Be One, powerful card in this format, trust me guys. Alright, so we run 1 Lost Wind, pretty self-explanatory. Negate a face-up special summon monster effect permanently and half its attack, and whenever your opponent decides to special summon from the extra deck, you can set this card and reuse it again. You don't need any more than that. You can discard it off Eldlich effect and still set it back. You will always get 1 or 2 uses out of this piece of card. Alright, Lost Wind, perfect. Alright, as I said, this is budget, so just keep that in mind. Now for our one-off traps, we run the 1 Torrential Tribute, pretty self-explanatory. The 1 Mirror Force, pretty self-explanatory. 1 Call of the Haunted, I should explain why I run this, but it's a card that can be used as, disruption to bring back something from your graveyard within your opponent's turn if need be. Alright, and on top of that, if the card did not get destroyed, Call of the Haunted remains on the field for you to utilize it with Eldlich effect. Alright, so Call of the Haunted and 1 Skill Drain. Alright, we can turn this on and off with Eldlich. It's just to disrupt your opponent while they're playing. Alright, you activate Skill Drain, some of the times people can't even go over it. They'll just end their turn or just scoop altogether. Alright, so 1 Skill Drain, and that will do it for our trap lineup. Okay guys, now on to our spells. We run 1, we run 2 Zombie Worlds. Alright, so Self-explanatory. This is a zombie Eldlich control deck. You need to run Zombie World. This will shut down most special summon plays from the extra deck that most meta decks have right now. Okay, you can run it at 3, but I think 3 is a little bit, I wouldn't say bricky, but you know, it's cloggy. You don't want to see multiples of them in your hand. All right, so I think 2 is the sweet spot right now. So yeah, 2, and we run 2 super polymerizations, 2 super polys. Sorry for butchering these names so much, alright guys, but 2 super polys, pretty self-explanatory. It works well with Zombie World. Everything is zombie. You just fuse off your opponent's monsters just like that. Now we run 1 7 Cities of the Golden Land. Now this spell card is our generic fusion spell card for our fusion monsters, alright, because we can use any zombies that we have in our deck as fusion material. So this is like the main way how you get out the Mad Golden Lord. Alright, then we run 1 Elixir of White Destiny. This is budget, so we are not running what that other one's called, Black Awakening. And we are not running Cursed Eldland. That's a $30 card right there, man. So I'm just trying to build a deck profile to work around that, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so we don't have those cards right now, but we run Raigeki, Foolish Burial, and 1 Monster Reborn, and that is the main deck right there. All right guys, now on to the extra. Now to start off the extra deck, we have our main boy, the Mad Golden Lord. Now what this is a big 3800 beater, first of all. Second of all, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Third of all, you can tribute 1 zombie type monster to take control of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, and that is permanent. Okay, this is a staple, you have to run it. Then for our super poly targets, we run the Necro Nether Soul Dragon, and Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Pretty self-explanatory. Regular super polymerization targets, and this can also be a super polymerization target if you control Eldlich on the field as well. Okay, now onto the synchros. FA Dawn Dragster to negate spell and traps. Cyframe Lord Omega to bring back our banish cards and disrupt our opponent's hand. Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon for, you know, Battle Monster Reborn and just to beat over stuff. Draco Berserker, the same thing, just to beat over stuff and banish. But that effect hardly comes up. We run the 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Mac. I'm sorry for butchering his name, but let's just say Gustav Max, okay? Just for that burn damage to push for game. I think I summoned him once, and one time I summoned him, I actually won. Alright? We run S39 Utopia and Utopia. I mean, you have to be in a pretty desperate situation to go for these, like, trust me. But you know, they're there in case you need them. This is budget. We run 1 Time Thief Redoer, and that will round off our Xyz monsters. Now for the links, 1 Vampire Sucker. Yep, you need that. 1 Salamandreat Almirage. You need this to link off your Glow Up Blooms in case you have to normal summon them, so you can activate Glow Up Blooms effect and either special summon a zombie or add 1 to your hand. Okay, so you can even swap this out for a Link Karibo, but I don't have that right now. So 1 Borrelo Dragon and 1 Topological Zero Boros for finishers. Alright, I went into this card once and it effect went off once when I was going up against Orcus deck, because you know they were special summoning and spamming all over the field, and the only open zone they had to summon was a zone that this monster points to, and everything just yes. So that will do it for our extra deck. On to the side deck. There's not much here. We have 2 two Rivalry of Warlords. Alright. One Zombie World, Doom King Belladrach, Necro World Banshee, Imperial Order, Evenly Matches, Called by the Grave, Mystical Space Typhoon, Mizuki, Dark Hole, Prohibition, the Dynamiscus, and the Twin Twisters. Okay, that will do it for the extra deck, and thank you guys for watching the deck profile. And if you like it, yeah, just let me know if you see anything that needs changing or anything I can add to the deck to make it a bit better. Just leave your comments in the comment section below. And this is the Eldlich Budget Zombie 1.0. So thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next deck profile video.